a famous author, Miriam Kaba, who talks a lot about how to end violence and how to create more spaces of peace. She says that hope is a discipline, that we have to practice it and come back to it again and again and again. And for me, art has always been that space where I could practice hope.
Hi, my name is Janaea Robison, and I'm the Artistic Director for the National Lutheran Choir. And I'm here today with several guests who are part of our final concert this season that concentrates on healing. And this is Healing for the Future, which is a narrative program that focuses on gun violence, especially gun violence that happens in our schools, and what our children have to contend with when they go to school every day. I think that this is one of those situations that for those of us who are involved in music, we sometimes don't know what to do other than to make art and music about difficult times that we're seeing in our world. Why do we think that music has a part in being able to process something that it's as heavy and just difficult for us to talk about as gun violence?
The real question is, what doesn't music relate to? If we are talking about real things that affect people, there's usually a song for that. It excited me, the conversation about should there be a concert to talk about hope, to talk about the other side of it, that these kids deserve hope. That's a really good conversation to have with them, especially with the idea that they will create the material, some material that's in this program. It's very exciting that it's centered around hope.
I think one of the, big reasons when you reached out to us, Janaea, that we wanted to participate is because of our faith and because in that church context of what our faith tells us to do, which is to do justice, kind of looking at this intersection of justice and the arts and how do we tell the story, how do we connect with one another. Choir, I think, is such a powerful space both for that individual healing and also the communal, figuring out how to be with people who are different from you, how to co-create something, and then the reaction that others have to that and the beauty it puts out into the world.
Choir for so many kids is that place, that home at school where kids can be vulnerable, can be comfortable, all walks of life. And in our community, we're pretty divided in a variety of ways. And so this is just an area where we can have a lot of discussion. I think we try to approach any topic with grace and openness that I think society needs just in general.
The students that are in our classrooms today are more willing to talk about and learn about the experiences of others, or to try to gain understanding and empathy. It's a really beautiful thing.
Art can be that space for us to be safe. It definitely was that when I was a kid. You had that one teacher who has like that room that all the kids go to because they feel safe enough to bring their full selves. Oftentimes that's like the art department, And so I think that's what we want to create for our young people as we're cultivating these practices around hope. A famous author, Miriam Kaba, who talks a lot about how to end violence and how to create more spaces of peace. She says that hope is a discipline, that we have to practice it and come back to it again and again and again. And for me, art has always been that space where I could practice hope, and especially young people, because some of the young people, they're not jaded like so many of us adults are. They're not as cynical and as weary and worn by the ways of the world. And so that's one of the reasons why I just love working with young folks, because they still have some of that energy that inspires more hope. And what better way to do it than through music, through song. And something special happens when we're singing together, even we're co-regulating our nervous systems, even just that movement of the physiological changes that are happening in our bodies. And so to be able to do that in community is powerful. And that's something that many of our ancestors have done. Our ancestors have done that for generations. So we get to carry forward that legacy at a time when we really, really, really need it. I think there's no denying that we're very polarized. We're very divided. There's a lot of violence. How do we create a space where we can practice healing? We can practice hope. We can practice cultivating more joy that we need in this world right now.